Chamath, you've been an outspoken critic of Gavin Newsom and even stoked speculation that you might run for governor of California. What are your political ambitions? Do you have any?
I would like to promote centrism, and I would like to coalesce people around centrist, normal, moderate goals of progress, and then to have candidates who can carry the water on that platform. That's my real political ambition. I don't have any particular ambition to run, particularly because the implications of doing that job day to day, for me, I think are a little under-leveraged in the sense that, the conflict of interest and the divestiture rules would force me to cripple a bunch of things that are really important to me. I mean, going back to batteries, I couldn't do anything. If I thought that it was really important for me to secure lithium supply for United States battery manufacturers, I mean, today I can just write that check, right? I can mobilize the capital and I can go and get that and secure the United States supply of lithium. I couldn't do that if I was governor. And so I wouldn't be able to act in ways that are important for us. But I do think that I can see if, floating a trial balloon allows us to coalesce around moderate ideals. Because I think when politicians are at their best, it's when they get out of the way. They kind of do, not much harm, and they kind of move laws along in a progressive mandate that allows the rest of us freedom to operate. And so, that's kind of my belief. I think extremism is kind of very short-lived and is just a manifestation of the fact that these systems are broken and need fixing. But the way to fix them is with technology. And the only way to harness the resources of technological people is via for-profit mechanisms. And so governments need to set up the incentives and mostly just kind of step aside and get out of the way.
Whether we like it or not, politics is a money game. Have you given thought to how much money you want to put behind these candidates whom you'd like to see in office espousing the ideals you share?
On the assumption that, Citizens United doesn't get overturned, my plan will build. It's not that today it's in the millions a year, but my plan will build to hundreds of millions a year. I mean, look, think of what has happened in American politics because of the Kochs or the Mercers. What is the moderate version of that? Where are the group of people that over 20 or 30 years can systematically build an infrastructure that promotes just centrist decency? It doesn't exist right now. And so, yeah, I would like to build that, and I'm happy to, pay my share of that.
At the moment, I think you're spending some money to recall the governor, Gavin Newsom. I saw a figure of $100,000. How much are you willing to put toward that issue?
Yeah, probably a few million. I mean,
That's not insubstantial.
No, it's not. I think it's about sending a message. Look, we are in a very terrible place in California. So on the one hand, this is, having lived in Sri Lanka and then Ottawa and then Toronto and New York and DC and now here in California. I mean, I'm biased, but this literally is the single best place on earth. I mean, the weather, the food, the people, the temperament, it's just the ingenuity. It's incredible. And there should be, growth for years and years here. But the schools are completely broken. The air is the worst. The crime is some of the highest. The taxes are some of the highest. So we're completely upside down, and we're in bonkers land here. Look, I think it's 40,000 taxpayers in California represent, more than 50% of the entire tax base. 40,000 out of 60 million. And those folks are the most mobile. And now they've already started to move. Toyota has gone, Oracle has left, Tesla has left. None of this had to happen. And so, California has swung too far to the left. There's no centrism. There's no moderate, reasonable approach to live and let live anymore. It's a bunch of sanctimonious judging. And I just think that has to stop.
Are you going to stay? Or are you
Oh,
going to
yeah.
follow some of
I don't-
those other billionaires to
I don't cut it.
Aspen or to Austin?
I don't cut and run. I mean, I owe
No.
this place everything. You know, I owe America everything. You know, I'm not trying to scalp an extra 13% of my taxes. I could care less.
I heard you in a conversation with Kara Swisher a few years ago describe your mood at the time. I am not your slave. It would appear that you've reached a different mindset.
I was living somebody else's life. And that life would have been amazing for some other person. But it didn't map to my values of how I should live my life and what things matter to me and how, transparent and authentic I wanted to be. And that was an emotional outburst that really encapsulated the anger I felt and how trapped I felt. And most of the anger was at me. I could have said it better than I am not your slave. Right? But I did it. I'm okay with it. I said it. It's true. That's how I felt at the time. But yeah, I feel like I'm working for me now, and that feels great.